Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to connect the GoPiGo with the camera, get the camera mounted onto the servo. Okay, so first step is to connect the camera. So notice that on the camera ribbon you're going to have two sides. You have one side with the blue tab showing and one side with sort of silver strips showing. So what we're going to do is put this ribbon into this slot where it says camera on the Raspberry Pi B Plus or Raspberry Pi 2. What you're going to want to do is see these silver pieces, or we'll use the blue as reference. You'll want the blue strip to be pointing towards the Ethernet cord. So you open up the camera port right here just by pulling up this little lip, and when it goes loose and it's away, you can slip the ribbon in, just line it up and slip it in there, and then push this ribbon retainer back down around it, and it should actually grip it tight. We'll go ahead, we've got the camera attached right now. I'm going to go ahead and remove that for this step. So I just again pull the retainer back and slide the camera out. I'm going to put that to the side, come back to that. I've already got my Raspberry Pi, or my GoPiGo, and I've got that mounted. I've also got the servo mounted to the top plate of the GoPiGo in this case. So I'm going to put the Raspberry Pi back where it came from. Goes with the Wi-Fi pointing this way and the ribbon coming out this way. So if you just bring it over the Ethernet port like that and put it over the GoPiGo board, put it in place, make sure your pins are all lined up, and of course the power's off. Next I'm going to put the plate back in place. Pretty quick and easy. And try to do this without breaking anything. So one of the key features here is that the servo is actually on top of the GoPiGo for use with the camera. Got some nice washers and some nice screws here. Alright, so let's come back. It came in the camera case. You should have four very small screws, and these should be able to fit through the Raspberry Pi camera, something about that size. And you should have the corresponding nuts. These came in the servo case. So I've got 4 and 4. Really only need 2. I'm gonna do 2. There are 4 holes here, and there are actually 4 holes in the servo piece, like the acrylic, that you can use if you want a more secure one. I'm just gonna use 2 because it's just less effort. Move those out of the way. So connect my Raspberry Pi camera. Again, I've got the blue side, the blue tab, and then the silver strips. I want the silver strips to point towards the Raspberry Pi board. I've got the Raspberry Pi camera board. I've got the Raspberry Pi camera on the camera. You have this sort of retainer clip again. I pulled that out so it's loose, and make sure the silver strips are pointed towards the board, and you can see the blue towards you. Should just slide in. It's a slightly snugger fit than going into the Raspberry Pi board, and bring that retainer wall down and that retainer piece down, and it just sort of holds in to the camera very nicely. Okay, so I got my Raspberry Pi camera is now attached to the ribbon, and all I'm going to have to do now is slightly twist it and then mount it to the servo plate. So I'll line those up. I can see they line up pretty well. There are 4 holes that are just specific for the camera, and you put these screws in place. And we'll put a nut on the back of it. And tighten that up. You like. And again, I'm just doing 2, but if you want to, you can do 4. 2 seems too unstable. Voila, you can see that cable has been run past the Ethernet board and then up to the camera, and the camera has enough space now to move back from forth side to side. So if you need to get a little bit more space, there's horizontal, the vertical slot that runs this way that the camera is mounted to, you can loosen it up and push it further back, and that should work just fine. So that's it. That's mounting the Servo to the GoPiGo.